and welcome. This is second part of my playthrough of the A107 scenario for the Borodino 2025 Battle of Moscow. So, after 3 turns, allies are making their way on Moscow, and Russian attempts to stop or slow them down failed utterly. All the Russian units that tried to stand on the way of allies were simply rolled off, and we are about to reach the outskirts of the city with allied units. So far, Russian artillery was the most deadly part of the Russian army. It made allies to suffer some losses, and Russian special forces were able to eliminate headquarters of the Polish division. That's all when it comes to the first 3 turns, and today I am going to finish this scenario and we will see how it will end. I don't think that allies are strong enough to capture Moscow in this scenario. Maybe in the next one we will check it out, but like I said, I am not certain about it. So let's go, and we are starting turn 4. Let's make a roll for rebels and commies to see if they get any reinforcements. Well, commies get 1 reinforcement, so they can make one of the units stronger, so that's good for them. And next we have air superiority. Russians have 2, allies have 8, so I don't even have to roll, because if I would roll 6 for Russians and 1 for allies, there will be allied victory. So allies have air superiority, and now I think I will try to attack this hex with a nuke. So this Russian missile artillery is eliminated, and I have to roll for the other 2 that are on the adjacent hexes. Oh, we nuked Kremlin! I wonder if Putin was there. And now I have to roll for them to see if they will survive this attack. I will need to fight. These are not mechanized units, so for them, 1. They survived. That's good for them. And now them, 3, 1 loss. Okay, so it wasn't as deadly as I hoped it will be. So that's all when it comes to the Allied air phase, and next I will try to use my special forces to attack this Russian headquarters. 4. They failed. Let's see if they will survive. No, they are eliminated. Okay, so that's all when it comes of the Allied actions, and now we are going into Allied movement. Let's see. Poles are here, and these 2 units are going to reorganize themselves. And now, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, here and there, and now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's where I'm going to attack with Poles. I will move my artillery a bit closer. And that's all with them. Now French units. Well, where they are, where they can attack. This part of the Moscow will be probably a part where Americans are going to make their strike, but even so, I will try to attack here, hoping that my artillery will be enough to give a support. Let me fight if they have range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, they have a range. Now, Americans. 1, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 5.5. So they will move like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This artillery goes into transport mode in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are moving along with infantry. And now these units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Artillery right here, there, and there. So that's all when it comes to the Allied movement. And now these airborne units, well, attacking here would be pointless, we already found. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And they will stay here. They will wait for opportunity, forcing Russians to keep some units there. And that's all when it comes to the Polish and American and French movement and time for combat phase. So I will start here. I'm attacking with 8 and I will give them 8 from this missile artillery. So this is 16 versus 4. It will be 4 to 1 and 5 to 1 because of the star, 4 to 1 because of the star, 3 to 1 because of the headquarters, 2 to 1, 1 to 1, and 1 to 2 because of the city. So it will be 1 to 2 and 5 into 1 to 2. This is -1, -1. So both sides suffer 1 loss. Now here 5 and 15, so it will be 20, 30, and 30 versus 8, and 30 versus 10. It will be 3 to 1, 4 to 1, 5 to 1, and 6 to 1, 5 to 1, 4 to 1, 3 to 1 because of the fortification, 2 to 1, 1 to 1, and 1 to 2 because of the city. 5 again, so it's -1, -1. So you can tell that fights of Moscow will be definitely more bloody than the combat on the outskirts of the city. And the next, 9 and 9, so it's 18, 20, 25 versus 6 and versus 8. So it will be 3 to 1, 4 to 1 because we have units of the same group, so it's 4 to 1, 5 to 1, 6 to 1, 7 to 1, 8 to 1 because of the stars, and 9 to 1 because of the headquarter. 8 to 1 because of the headquarter, 7 to 1, 6 to 1 because of the fortification, 4 to 1, 3 to 1 and 2 to 1 because of the city. So it's 2 to 1 and 7 in the 2 to 1. This is B1. So Russians have to retreat 1 hex, and French tanks are riding inside Moscow. Okay, any other fights? Yes, here. This is 6, 8 and 11. 19 versus 2. It will be 9 to 1, 10 to 1 because of the stars, 8 to 1 because of the city, so it's 8 to 1 and 10 in the 8 to 1, B2 and the dot. So they are eliminated, but attackers have to undergo morale checks. So tanks, fine, infantry, fine, strikers, fine. So that's all when it comes to the direct attacks, and now I can make my artillery attack. They are attacking here. Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, they are in the range. So this is 8, but it is -3 because of the city. So it will be 3, 4. Wow, 12. 3, 4. They are disorganized. So this artillery is disorganized and it cannot fire, and this missile launcher is going to perform a thermobaric strike versus this missile artillery, and this will be 11 -3, so 5, 6 verse, and 2. This is a hit. This unit suffers a loss, and it also has to undergo morale checks, I believe. Yes, let me check. 8, they passed. Even so, that was a lucky shot, since you can tell that this Russian missile artillery was deadly opponent. And is that all attacks? No, I think I forgot to resolve this attack here. So it's 9 versus 2. It will be 4 to 1, 5 to 1, 6 to 1 because of the stars, 4 to 1 because, it was 4 to 1, 5 to 1, 6 to 1 because of the stars, 5 to 1 because of the fortification, 4 to 1, 3 to 1 because of the woods. So it's 3 to 1 and 5. 3 to 1 and 5, B2 and the dot. This unit is eliminated, but allies have to undergo morale checks. 6 and 9, they've passed. So I can remove disorganization markers from these units, and that would be all when it comes to the allied actions. Yeah, that's all. You may ask why I am not using my combat helicopters and aerial units that often. Well, I want to keep them for later. Same goes to the nukes. I still have 2 of them but I'm not sure if I want to use them all already, because now Russians will be able to launch with their nukes every time I'm using mine. And well, yes, this is that moment, because we are moving to Russians now, and Russians are seriously thinking of using their nukes, and they are striking nuclear strike here. So these two French units are eliminated, and we have to make a roll for the units on the adjacent hex. 6 destroyed, and now we have 2 units here. 5 and 5, they are both suffering 1 loss. So that was a Russian nuclear attack, and now we can go into the Russian movement phase. First of all, I want to counterattack, so I will move these Russian units here and this reconnaissance unit there, so I will be able to attack and maybe destroy this Polish tank battalion. And next part here. So this is a more complicated case. They are going to fortify themselves, and they are going to do the same. What else? All this part of Moscow is protected, so I can make them and them reorganized. I will keep these groups as my operational reserves, so they are not going to do much stuff. And I think the stuff that I should do is to kinda move my artillery off, so they won't be close to each other, so the further attacks of the enemy nukes won't be as deadly. NATO still holds 2 nuclear strikes, so we would like to spread our RT a bit. Okay, that should do the trick. And now I wonder if I can do any more. Well, these tanks, don't need them in Moscow already, so they will move here and try to counterattack as well. So that's all for Russians. Yes, that's all. And now let's see what they can do when it comes to their combat. So let's go with Russian attacks. So these tanks are attacking here. I will give them support of this artillery. So they have 8 versus 3. It will be 3 to 1. Sorry, yes, 3 to 1. And now allies are calling for air support of 2. And this will be now 8 to 5. So it will be 2 to 1 instead. 2 to 1 and 3 to 1 because of the headquarter, 2 to 1 because of the star. So it will be 2 to 1 and 6 in the 2 to 1. It is B2. So this Polish unit retreats 2 hexes. It has to undergo a morale check. It passed, and Russians might pursue. They are moving here. Now, them 10 and 12, so it will be 12 versus 5. Artillery support, it will be 17 versus 5, so it will be 3 to 1. I will take air support and combat helicopter support, and now I'm going to take 4 points of combat helicopters and 2 points of air force. I need to roll for combat helicopters. 6, they are fine, so I get 6, 11 versus 17. So it will be 2 to 1. 3 to 1 because of the headquarter, 2 to 1 because of the star, 1 to 1, 1 to 2, and 1 to 3 because of the city. Wow, 1 to 3 and 11. A2 minus 2. So attacker retreats 2 hexes and has to suffer 2 losses. So this unit has to retreat 1 hex, 2 hexes as well, and they suffer also a loss. Well, that wasn't very effective counter-strike, and you can see that's why it is good to keep some of your aircraft and combat helicopters ready to be used. And I think that's all when it comes to the direct Russian attacks. And now let me use their artillery. These two are attacking together, and they are targeting these American tanks with a strength of 6. Oh, that was a good hit, I believe. This is instant disorganization. Here. Now any other artillery which is free to use, these two and them. So they will gather their strength, so they have total of 14, and they are targeting this Polish group. They are in the clear terrain, so no modifiers, and 5. This is 1 loss, so Poles are eliminated. Okay, and this concludes all the Russian stuff. Yes, this concludes all the Russian stuff, and this concludes turn 4 as well. So, this is turn 5 we are in, and let's make rolls for rebels and commies. Commies get 1 reinforcement. Wow! Looks like they get a lot of volunteers. Well, Mother Russia is in danger. Maybe that's why. Still, it's kinda bad that the rebels can't play a bigger role in this battle, but well, they were literally slaughtered in the previous scenario, so there isn't much for them in this scenario. Okay, that's all. Next we are going to check for the air superiority. NATO has 8, Russia has 3. So there is a little chance for Russia, but let's roll. Russia has 4, NATO has 13. Okay, you can tell who won the day. And now losses. NATO get 4, so no losses. Russia get 1, so 1 loss. Okay, so that's all when it comes to the air stuff. And NATO will try to attack this Russian headquarters. 10, okay, they are disorganized, so they won't be able to provide support to their units in this turn. And now let's roll for the Special Forces survivability. No, they are done. So NATO lost 2 of their Special Forces units so far. Russians lost 1. Okay, so that's all. And next we can go into the movement phase. Let's start with Poland on the south. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will have to get rid of this motorized regiment there. Now here, 1. Don't want to enter this contamination zone because I will have to make a roll to see if I can. I won't suffer any additional losses, so I will move here, and this unit goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and well, they cannot enter here. Yeah, they can. Okay, so that should do the trick. I will move this arty a bit closer towards Moscow. And now French dudes. Well, they suffered big losses due to the nuclear strike, but can they do anything else now? Well, these Russians are pretty strong here, and these French units aren't that strong, so I think they are going to fortify themselves. They aren't too strong to make more attacks for now. And now Americans, they are finally around to save the day. So here I guess they can help their French buddies. Now this motorized infantry, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. They are going to be reorganized. Artillery moves closer. 1, 2. Let them stay. This artillery and infantry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And airborne units here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's all. And well, that's all when it comes to the Allied movement. Yes, that's all. Let's start on the north this time. So I will have 3, 6, 11, 14. 14 plus 8, it will be 22. 22 versus 6 and versus 8. So it will be 22 versus 8, it will be 3 to 1. And now 4 to 1, 5 to 1, 6 to 1, and 7 to 1 because of the stars, 8 to 1 because of the hit quarter, 7 to 1 because of the star, 5 to 1, 6 to 1, 5 to 1 because of the fortification, 4 to 1, 3 to 1, 2 to 1 because of the city. So it is 2 to 1 and 4. This is dot and B2. So Russians have to retreat 2 hexes. 1, 2. They have to undergo morale check. They failed. That's bad. And now allies have to undergo morale checks. So they are disorganized, and they are fine, so they can go deeper inside Moscow. Now they are attacking here, so they have 7 versus 1 and versus 3. This it will be. So it's 7 versus 3. So it will be 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1 because of the stars, 5 to 1 because of the hit quarter, 4 to 1 because 4 to 1, 3 to 1 because of the fortification, 2 to 1, 1 to 1, and 1 to 2 because of the city, and 1 to 3 because of the river. So it's 1 to 3, not an easy attack, and 7 in the 1 to 3, A1. Attacker retreats 1 hex. Next, here we have 12 and 50 and 5, so it's 17. 17 plus 2, it will be 19. 19 plus 5, it will be 24. 24 plus 8, it will be 32. So it's 32 versus 6 and versus 8. So it will be 4-1, 5-1 because of the headquarter, 6-1, 7-1, 8-1 and 9-1 because of the stars, and now -5 because of the terrain. It will be 4-1. 4-1 and 7. This is b2. So Russians have to retreat 2 hexes. 1, 2. Let's make a disorganization check. Oh, they are disorganized. And now Americans are moving here, and French units move there. So they are definitely digging deeper into Moscow. Now here, these 2 Polish units are attacking them, so this is 9 versus 4. It will be 2-1, 3-1, 4-1 because of the stars. And well, that's all. 4-1 and 8, b2, 1-2. Disorganization roll for Russians, they are fine. And now the attack here. 5, 10, 18, 26, 40, 26, 33. So it's 33 versus 6 and 8. It will be 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, 7-1, 8-1 because of the stars, 9-1 because we have 3 units of the same brigade, so it's 9-1, and -5, it will be 4-1. 4-1 and 6, b2, and they cannot retreat anywhere because there is enemy zone of control here, there and there, so they have to suffer 2 losses. Next here, 4 versus 1, it will be 4-1, 5-1 because of the star, and 4-1 because of the buildings. 10 in the 4-1, -1 b2. Oh my, Polish tanks are dead. Russians are retreating, and they have to undergo morale check. They passed. And now I will do Polish attack with thermobaric missiles on that Russia, yeah, them. So I'm targeting them, so I have 11, but it's -3 because of the city, and 8. I think this is a miss, but let me check. 7, 8, and 8. No, this is a miss. And now Americans are going to attack with their thermobaric strike them. Oh, 3. I guess this might be a hit. Yes, this is -1. So this unit suffers 1 loss. Okay, so that's all when it comes to the NATO attacks. And Russians, well, they are not doing very well. And especially in this part of the front, situation gets worse. And well, I need to move my artillery somewhere safe. Too bad these units are disorganized, so they won't be much effective in combat. Have to fortify them. I have a feeling that I might finish this campaign with this scenario, because Russians won't be able to even defend their capital properly with the forces they have. And now they are going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to protect this area. These tanks will go here. Here they can be also useful, but well, they need to defend here, so no. But these tanks will right here, and these tanks will go 1, 2, 3, 4, and they will go here. I need to keep my units there because of this enemy airborne units. If I will remove some of my units from this side of the Moscow, they might try to attack on my artillery, and that's something I would rather like to avoid. Now this unit goes here, and well, I guess that's all when it comes to Russians. Well, they don't want to attack anywhere because they are definitely too weak to do so. So that's all, and now I can still use my artillery to perform strikes against allies. And now this artillery fires with thermobaric, so they get 6, and this one is going to help them, so they have total of 9, and they are attacking this hex. Oh, 2, that's good roll. -1 and D. So this stack is already disorganized, so they suffer 1 loss because of the artillery strike and 1 loss because they are disorganized again. Okay, that was a good shot. And any other artillery available? Well, they are available, so 3, 7 and 12, they are firing here. Ooh, Russians have a good luck. No, sorry, bad luck. 12 is nothing. I was certain that it's something good, but no, that was a miss. Okay, so that's all when it comes to the Russian strikes, and this concludes turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was turn 5, so we have 2 more turns to go. Now, I'm not sure if allies will be able to capture the entire Moscow until the end of this scenario, but I think they are getting closer. So, this is turn 6. Let's see if commies or rebels get reinforcements. Okay, looks like commies lost 1 point, and rebels get actually reinforcements. So they can take 1 unit from eliminated pile and put it on the board, but on the weakened side. Finally, some of them are going to join the action. Not like that much remains for them. Okay, next we have to check for air phase. Allies had 8, Russians had 3. So there is a little chance. Russians get 9, allies have 12, so both sides, allies hold air domination. And now losses. Russians 1, this is 1 loss, and NATO 5, no losses. Okay, so now that's all when it comes to the air stuff. Yes, and NATO get 1 more special force unit, and they are going to try their attack on this Russian headquarters again. Oh, failed completely. And now let's see if they survived. Nope. Well, looks like this is a target of multiple suicidal attacks of the NATO special forces. So that's all for the air and additional stuff. I still have 2 nukes for NATO. I wonder if I can... Well, I will. I'm going to strike here. So these two units are dead, and they have to roll for their possible losses. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. I overstacked this hex incidentally, so I need to move them on the adjacent hex. And now let's roll for them. First for this artillery. 1, it is safe. Now for these tanks, they are safe. And now them, 5 and 5. So they both suffer 1 losses. So this unit is eliminated and this one is weakened. Okay, so that was another lucky strike. And Russians will be allowed to respond in their air phase. Okay, so I still have doubts if my forces are strong enough to ride into Moscow directly now. I need to break through the Russian defenses first, and then I will go inside. I don't think I need to do it hastily. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They are going to finish with them. Here I don't think I need to attack this point because it will be, well, pointless since Russians are too strong to attack them here. So there they are on the other, no, they are on the same side of the river. Good, so I will be able to attack them. And as for them, I will fortify this polis for now. And when it comes to the others, well, I think these rebels might try to join the fun. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let them move here. They will try to reorganize. This artillery goes into fire position and this infantry moves here. Okay. Now this French Polish airborne unit goes here, and these French units are going to support them. Okay, I think that's all when it comes to the NATO movement phase. Let's go with NATO attacks, so it will be 4, 10, 13, 21 versus 2 versus 4. It will be 5 to 1, 6 to 1, 7 to 1, 8 to 1, 9 to 1 and 10 to 1 because of the stars, 5 to 1 because of the fortification in the city, and 8. This is B2, and since they cannot retreat, they are dead. Three, 5, 10 versus 1 versus 3. So it will be 10 versus 3 will be 3 to 1, 4 to 1, 5 to 1, 6 to 1, and minus 5 it will be 1 to 1. Oh, that's a bad roll. 11 in the 1 to 1, A1 minus 1. So attacker has to retreat 1 hex and they suffer 1 loss. Next, here, 5, 9, sorry, no, 5, and they are attacking to the major river, so they have their strength half, so they have 2, So this is 5, 7, 9 and 14. 14 versus 2, 14 versus 4 will be 14 versus 4, 3 to 1, 5 to 1, 6 to 1, and minus 5 to 1, 1 to 1, and minus 1 because of the star, so it will be 1 to 2. 1 to 2 and 4, it is a dot and B1. So Russians have to retreat 1 hex. And NATO has to undergo morale checks. Passed, and they also passed. Here, 8, 16, 23, 33, 33 versus 4, it will be 9 to 1, so it's 10 to 1 because of the star, and 5 to 1 because of the terrain. 7 in the 5 to 1 B2. They cannot retreat, so they are done. And that's all when it comes to the regular attacks, but now artillery. Polish missile launcher performs thermobaric strike versus this Russian artillery. 11. So I think this is 1 hit. Yes, this artillery is hit. And let's see for the disorganization. It is also disorganized. And next, American artillery here. These two units are striking on this Russian artillery. 7, they missed. And this missile launcher fires at this missile launcher. 8. I think this is a miss, but let me check. Yes, this is a miss. So that's all when it comes to the NATO attacks. So Russians, well, they still have 1 nuclear strike, and they are going to use it here. So these American units are off, and I have to roll for these tanks. They suffer 1 loss. So that was the last Russian nuclear strike, and looks like Moscow is really turning into nuclear desert. Notice that mostly thanks to the Russians themselves, because a lot of these nuclear strikes in Moscow were performed by Russian army. Well, I guess it's nothing shocking for Russians. So they are reorganizing themselves. These tanks are fortifying themselves. They are fortified. They are fortifying. These commies are moving here to protect this headquarter. This group fortifies itself here. And this perimeter seems to be safe for now. I think that I might even regroup them. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 4 here. They will reorganize themselves. And well, that's all when it comes to Russians, and now their attacks. Well, these missile launchers will perform thermobaric strike on this American infantry. They have 6 and 7. Ooh, they failed. Now this artillery and this artillery, they have 9. They are firing at this American artillery here. 7, again a miss. That's very unlucky turn for Russians. And I think that's all when it comes to Russians. So this concludes turn 6, and we are moving into last turn of this scenario. Okay, so this is last turn. No one gets any reinforcements, and now air superiority, well, almost impossible. And yes, nothing happens, nothing changes. NATO still holds air superiority. And now let's check for losses. NATO suffered 2 losses and Russia 6, no losses. Alright, so this time NATO is not going to do anything. I mean, they still have 1 nuclear strike, and Russia has none, so nothing stops me from making 1 more devastating nuclear attack on Russians. So I think I will make it here. Oh, so these 2 units are out. And they have to check if they are suffering any losses. 3. This is mechanized unit, so let me find. No losses. And for these tanks, 6, they are eliminated. Okay, so that's all for my attacks. Well, Russians won't be able to even respond because they haven't more nuclear strikes available. And this is the end of the air stuff. We are moving into movement phase. So, NATO suffered definitely some losses, and in the next scenario they will receive their further units, so they will be able to seize Moscow with ease, because you can tell that Russian defense is shattered, and a lot of Russian units already suffered tremendous losses. But the question is if I actually want to attack here today, because like I said, it will give me more losses than successes. So I think that so far NATO is not going to make more attacks with their land forces. Instead, they will fortify themselves on their positions, and they will wait for reinforcements to make their final strike on Moscow. So I will fortify my artillery as well. This should protect it from any unwanted attention of Russian artillery. And now I wonder if these Poles can do anything. They are, well, quite eager to get inside, deeper inside Moscow, but they also suffered losses, so I think all they want to do is to hold their positions currently. We know that we are safe from Russian nuclear strikes, so I don't have to worry about them much. So yes, I think that should do the trick for now. I am not going to make more NATO attacks in this turn, save to the artillery, of course. Artillery is going to harass Russians with its fire, hoping it will maybe kill 1 or 2 Russian artillery units, but land units are not going to attack. They will wait for the reinforcements to arrive. So, that's all when it comes to the NATO movement, and let's go to the NATO combat stuff. This Polish RT is going to perform thermobaric strike on this Russian artillery. It's 2, so this is a hit, I think. Yes, this Russian missile launcher is no more. Now these 2 guns are firing here. They have 10 and 7, they missed. These French guns are firing here. 4. Let me find. Well, Russians have to undergo morale check. They passed. Now these 2 are American guns are firing here. 5. Morale check for Russians. Passed. And this American missile launcher and this artillery are firing here. 9. This is just a morale check. But Russians are disorganized. So, well, that wasn't a very effective combat phase, but like I said, I want to get ready for the next scenario, and this is what I'm going to do now. So that's all for NATO, and now Russians. Alright, Russians. So they need to fortify their positions. NATO has no nuclear strikes too, so they are kinda safe. But even so, I think that they won't hold very long. They were able to hold their positions until the end of this scenario, which isn't bad, but I don't think they will be able to stand long in the next scenario when more NATO units will arrive. Well, at last they are holding a piece of Moscow still, but you can tell that this Moscow turns into nuclear desert. So that would be all the Russian movement, and now let's see if Russians are going to make any attacks. So this artillery fires here. 5, this is disorganization check. Nothing. These 3 artillery units are firing here. 4, this is 1 loss for this airborne battalion. And well, that's all. So this concludes this scenario, and I think that NATO wasn't strong enough to capture the Moscow in this scenario. I guess it makes sense, it will be too quick, but well, Russians aren't too strong to drive NATO away of the position they hold. So the question is if the next scenario will be the last scenario, but we will check it out when I will play it probably and record it probably next week. Well, maybe later, we will see. But for today, that's all. Thank you for watching and see you next time.